What's up, everybody? Thank you for taking the opportunity to click on this video. If it's your first time, my name is Kobe. Welcome to the Intent Authentic Conversations from a unique perspective take place here. If it's your first time and you found value today, I encourage you to like, share, subscribe, but most importantly for me, leave a comment below. That first of all encourages me to continue making this content. And also just let me know, what we should record in the future and things that you might be able to find value in. Today's video I'm super excited about, and that's because this is something that I have done over the past half year, last 6 months, that has really truly shaped my life in a way that I feel like I knew I was lacking, that I always wanted, and that is training in a martial art form. Um, and one that I've always kind of seen growing up with the Claude Van Damme videos, Blood Sport back in the day, all my sports, action, figure, movie guys from the 80s would definitely get with this. And that is training Muay Thai for the last 6 months. So let's dive in. First and foremost, what is Muay Thai? Well, let's back it up even before that. Like, why did I choose at the age of 28 to get into martial arts, man? Gosh, why not? First and foremost, I have always been someone. Even when I was little, I remember one of my cousins who did like karate for a little bit when we were kids, and um, not to go too in detail, but I remember like wanting to do that, and my parents kind of like, nah, they either weren't interested in paying for it because it does come with a cost, or just didn't see the usage in that for a young man, and for what multiple reasons, for whatever reason, but always having this longing, man, of seeing like the community or hearing the stories from my cousin at that time about wearing the gi, which is your suit that you wear. So for my Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, or it's called BJJ for short, folks out there, or excuse me, Taekwondo folks, or karate. And I'm sure there's a lot that come to mind. Judo, it's a lot. I'm sorry, I'm brain dumping. Of different martial arts forms, they wear that kind of outfit. Well, as I got older, losing my voice a little bit. As I got older, I remember watching. So lo and behold, didn't do it, whatever. But I remember being at my dad's house growing up and watching Bloodsport with Claude Van Damme, the famous French actor, and just falling in love with that movie, man. And I grew up with older parents, guys, so I grew up watching Claude Van Damme, Siegel. I mean, gosh, I can't even think of bro's name, but Magnum PI. That's where I fell in love with Dobermans. If you see my Doberman walking around in here today, just all of those type of sports movies, Rocky Balboa, and mimicking what I would see, on the videos, but not actually having the context and the training to be able to do it. And I always said, one day, if I was able to, I would get into martial arts. And when moving to Dallas, I knew there were plenty around. There were plenty of judos, as I still call them like a judo, uh, different gyms to go to, but I didn't know what was quite for me just yet. Well, lo and behold, after learning that or trying, of course, trying to get pregnant, me and my wife finally getting pregnant. Praise God. I don't even say finally. Everything happens in his due season and time. But when we were pregnant, and this was the one we're gonna make it. Um, that's a story in itself. I did actually did a video on, but I knew like something shifted in me, and I was like, bro, I gotta go to the next level. I don't know if I'm having a boy. I don't know if I'm having a girl. That traditionally, the way that we've decided to move with our family, we like to wait until birth. But I was like, I gotta be a man who is not just equipped with a firearm. I am pro Second Amendment. I am pro firearms. Have some plans for this channel to discuss that a little bit more, share for folks. But you gotta have training before it even comes to that. How do you evaluate a situation? How do you do this de-escalate if needed? How do you properly throw a punch? Like, thrown some punches before in my day, but they weren't, unfortunately, but they weren't thrown correctly and broke wrists and things of that nature, broke thumbs. but how do you do it correctly and be able to have the discernment and the discipline to be able to navigate and use your power at best? And I chose Muay Thai mainly because of what I saw from Claude Van Damme in those movies growing up. But what I saw in those movies as well was a camaraderie um, that was unlike any other fighting sport that I saw, like any other combat sport that I saw, where the respect level, like how you watch like the boxing movies or even the boxing, like actual boxing matches, and how guys just trash themselves at the press release, and they gotta pump it up, they gotta sell it, but it was the total opposite of what I saw and have definitely in the last 6 months seen, where the level of respect that these guys have for each other is just it's unlike anything I've ever seen. Not too many people are gonna have an extreme level of respect for somebody who just like beat them up essentially. But it's the camaraderie was so family. Like I had to have a taste for myself. So lo and behold, fast forward, July of 2023 this year. Man, the year's almost over. I found a gym. And most gyms have this. If you're interested in trying out a gym, I would literally just Google Muay Thai gyms near you and find a gym that had like a trial that you can do, a free class to come and check it out and see what it was for you. I found one that was here that was absolutely amazing in DFW area, and I knew it was a sport as well, combat sport as well, that uses the full body as opposed to others. So, like, I'll just say, compare it with boxing. Boxing, you're mainly using your hands, technique, defense, whatever the case may be. But Muay Thai is the art of 8 limbs. And I always butcher this, but you're using 8 limbs. So, that is fist, that is elbows, that is knees, that is your legs and your feet. And I always get the five, and then I'm like, bro, what else? I always forget. So that is probably, you know what? No, I'm gonna actually Google it because I feel like on this video, I need to know the art of 8 limbs, Muay Thai, what limbs? It gets me every time. What is the 8 limbs of Muay Thai? And the Wi-Fi act like it wanna act up. Ain't that something else? Right when I'm trying to record this video, you gonna do me like that? Somebody else probably out there too, and they Wi-Fi be tripping too. Let's do it. All right, Jesus. All right, cool. Well, no, it does say like makes the use of 8 points of contact, but namely punches, elbows, knees, and kicks. So I'll leave that in the video so y'all can see how trash my Wi-Fi is in real time. But anyway, I want to use everything. Like I feel like in a real life situation, if it comes down to it, like you're not gonna sit there with just your hands, and somebody's not gonna be sitting there just swinging with you like, oh, don't kick me, feet is off. And for those of y'all who grew up in the dirty South and been to parties that went left or whatever the case may be, if you see somebody getting at it in some weak Tims, they using them boots. So yeah, like I feel like it was a more complete like self defense arsenal to train in, and so started there with that particular gym. Transitioned from that gym after being there, after having our daughter, just because yeah, it changes, man. Oh gosh, I know I'm kind of flashing forward in the story, but it definitely changes with training and wanting to be as active with the guys, getting ready to go. That's another video for another day. Just with parenting, how you have to kind of operate and navigate within the arena and regular working out too, because Muay Thai is, I mean, you're drenched in sweat when you leave. So if like you're looking for goals to get into some type of combat sport where you can lose weight, you can get in peak shape, um, and maybe not per se have to lift the weight, Muay Thai is definitely for you. If you want to do both and do your weightlifting training, definitely focus on recovery because it is gonna be it can be grueling. But needless to say, built out to the garage with the bag, with the shin guards, all the things necessary needed to really train at home. But what I want to harp on really is just like how it changed me as an individual. Training in a combat sport is humbling. I've had sparring sessions where I dominated early on, like with this early on, you know. I've had sparring sessions that are more memorable to me where I got my butt kicked. Like, absolutely treated like a man by a man. Like, what else could I say? And when you leave the gym, or even when you get out of that sparring session and the bell has rang 3 minutes, whatever the case may be, for somebody to come and pound you up or dab you up or shake gloves and to help you and critique you on what areas you need to get better in, it's a regulated and disciplined. It's a regulated and disciplined. I don't want to say anger because anger is not the word at all. Anger is not the word at all. It's a regulated and disciplined like strength to know when not to turn your aggression on and how to really navigate it, deploy it, and use it in a way that's going to be effective to you. People act like combat sport guys or boxing guys or MMA guys aren't smart. Man, listen, they're geniuses. They are absolute geniuses to be able to think on your feet and say, okay, this is the range that this person is at. How am I going to close this range? Okay, this is where they're going to. They're left-handed, they're right-handed. They switch. Okay, I need to switch to a different leg. Like, there's so many things that happen in training within a combat sport and self-defense in general that really shows you who and where you are. So, what I would definitely say for me that's changed internally from the last 6 months is an increase in my confidence, increase in my overall awareness. I would say, or situational awareness. I think one thing that I didn't expect, and guys, like this is probably the most valuable. If you take anything away from this video, I definitely want you to get this. My relationship with my wife improved. Yeah, my situation with my wife improved, and not even to a point where you. And this is marriage. If I'm married, brothers, y'all know you gonna have disagreements. I don't care. Your marriage ain't real if you ain't having some kind of disagreement, in my opinion, or just a different view or something. For me, how I speak to and handle my wife changed. Not so much in a like softer because we try to communicate with everything seasoned and salt, even if it's a intense conversation. The love is still there, of course, but just in the way Koa move, just in the way that I led her more in those discussions, how I kind of set the groundwork, I kind of set the tone a little bit more and was able to navigate my emotions, my feelings without feeling that internal octave in your voice going up, feeling, like you got to prove a point. It definitely changed, I would say, in the last 6 months in that nature to just be a better and more effective communicator with my spouse. And bro, if it's worth anything, then that is the gym. That is the goal, to become someone who knows how to regulate their emotions, their feelings, and their thoughts in a way a lot better for the ones that they love the most, the ones that they actually want to love and protect. And I think that is, for me, a lesson that I did not expect to get. I expected to learn how to do switch kicks, how to do roundhouse kicks. I expected to do all the things that I did, but not how to better communicate and navigate my emotions in my marriage with my wife, with my family, the ones that I love. And guys, that's I'm kind of getting emotional to think about it. That's absolutely incredible. So who is this for, right? Like who? Okay, Kobe, you say all these things, but like this is where I'm at, or I'm already paying for a gym. Like, why should I consider a combat sport? Or why should I consider Muay Thai? Um, I'm not gonna tell you to do either. What I'm gonna tell you is, in my opinion, Muay Thai is gonna be a continued art form that will be practiced in my household. My wife has her gloves. She has her shin guards. Um, she's learning. Gonna be getting more active with her, and my children will also train Muay Thai, and possibly and maybe even Brazilian Jiu Jitsu because that's more of a grappling art form. And I want them to have both a striking art form, which is definitely Muay Thai strikes, kicks, eight limbs, elbows, but I want them to also be able to grapple. I want them to be able to do the guillotine, the headlocks, and things that and roll on the mat, things of that nature. But it's gonna be a part of it. I genuinely feel like as men, and we look at our society, if we had men who were trained and know how to fight, know how to defend themselves, in the same sense, on the flip side, they would know that there's somebody that's always going to be bigger than them, always going to be stronger than them. So they're going to have to learn how to deploy a different level of effectiveness to get D job done, D conversation done, D deal done, business life, whatever the case may be, rather than having to resort to uh, something that's per se lethal, immediately lethal, or resort to some level of communication that's not actually going to be effective to push the narrative forward, right? To actually push things forward. So I think, man, it's been incredible for me. I would love to see more of us in this space, and when I say more of us, I'm talking about us. I've met some great brothers in the space. Definitely have helped me to grow, and others. And I know we kind of have a proclivity to boxing within the United States, where I am, Western culture for sure. But this is an art form that I would love to see more of us in, and I believe we can dominate. Like you look at John Jones in MMA, he's a big Muay Thai guy. Israel Adesanya, our Nigerian brother. Hope I pronounced his name correctly. That brother does some amazing kicks, some amazing things. If you want to check out some fights from him, my home team fam. I'm looking at one of my Cameroonian boxes of cigars over here. But Francis and Ngannou, definitely have seen him do some stuff that is rooted in Muay Thai as well. Um, some would say the baddest man on the planet, the actual true champion of that fight with Fury. But yeah, man, I think it's something to get into. And immediately it may not seem like, hey, I'm not the fighting type of guy, or this may not be for me. Just try it. Just try it. I encourage you. There's free gyms out there that you can look up. Not free gyms, but there's free first timers sessions that you can do, and they'll teach you how to punch, how to throw. And I think just the confidence and overall things that you walk away with will be more than valuable than the transaction or the dollar that you had to pay 10 times over. And the people that you meet will make it all the more of an incredible experience and worth the try. So that's this video, man. 6 months review of training in Muay Thai. Appreciate you guys' patience today with me looking up on my phone the 8 limbs. This is 6 months, not 6 years, so definitely still learning. And if you like this video, if you find this of value, man, leave a comment below. If you train in a specific martial arts, taekwondo, judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, anything like that, would love to hear about it. And I hope to continue to make great content like this that you find value in. So that being said, appreciate you for checking out the intent. God bless.